Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and in today's video guys, we're going to be taking a look at the deck that took second place at the US Nationals Tournament and was piloted by Marcos Garcia, I believe, and it is a Seismitoad Giratina list. Now this deck is all about disruption and all about just really being an annoyance for your opponent. And if you guys missed it, I did cover the deck that took first place, so make sure to go check that out. And I did do quite a bit of vlogging while I was at the event, so please go check that out as well because you will definitely enjoy it. But we're going to go ahead and start this off by taking a look at Giratina EX. Now Giratina EX is a very dangerous EX Pokemon because of its Renegade Pulse and Chaos Will. And really what this card is all about, just like Seismitoad, is shutting down your opponent's deck, rendering them helpless on a lot of different situations, and really just making them have a lot of dead cards in their deck and just annoying them. So its ability Renegade Pulse pretty much means that Mega Evolution Pokemon can't touch them, excuse me. And then it has Chaos Will for 100, and then your opponent can't play any Pokemon Tool, Special Energy, or Stadium cards in their hand. So when you do this attack, you're shutting down cards like Fighting Fury Belt, Muscle Band, Float Stone, Spirit Links, Head Ringer, etc., along with DCE, Mystery Energy, Fighting Energy, etc. And then you're shutting down cards like Parallel City, Skyfield, Silent Lab. You're shutting down just really a lot of things like Forest of Giant Plants, Rough Seas. I mean, the list goes on. So Giratina with one attack can just shut down a huge amount of cards in your opponent's deck. And really, against a lot of decks, if you're able to pull off a Chaos Will once and keep it consistently going, they really can't do much of anything, and you will just continue to overwhelm them. But the next card we're going to take a look at, which is very similar to Giratina, if in terms of disruption, is going to be Seismitoad EX, which has Quaking Punch for 30, and your opponent can't play any item cards from his or her hand during their next turn. So while you're sitting there charging up Giratina, you of course can start off with Seismitoad EX, and basically from there you can go on to just kind of slow down your opponent really exponentially, just because of the fact that with one Quaking Punch they're really unable to play cards like Trainer's Mail, Battle Compressor, they're unable to play VS Seekers, they're unable to play just any item, just shuts them down. So these two definitely, unfortunately, is a beautiful pair together in one deck, just because they're able to just shut down so many things. And it's just really an annoying thing. Now, when this, I think it was the Marowak that kind of shut down hand disruption came out, a lot of people were really worried about this deck fall off. But as we can see, it's still extremely powerful and extremely viable in this format. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at another attacker that can kind of be annoying in some situations if you're able to go against the right deck. Now, as we know, evolution decks have gone up in popularity recently, such as Night March, Vespiquen, Zoroark, and the such. But really, this is going to be in here for the fast rate attack. If you go first, you can use this attack on your first turn, and it does 40 damage. So you do have the potential to donk and or take a prize on your first turn because of the fact that you run double Dragon Energy along with Muscle Band and Fighting Fury Belt. That won't pull up. There it is. So if you see your opponent flip over something that has 60 HP, well then you of course have the capability of getting a Hoopa and Float Stone. So if you're able to get a Hoopa Float Stone, then you might have a chance of knocking it out and just taking that quick prize or ending the game. Now Hoopa is going to be a very, very important Pokemon in this deck just because of its Scoundrel Ring ability. Every Pokemon in this deck is an EX. So with Scoundrel Ring, you get access to absolutely everything. Like Shaman. Shaman is going to be in here for the setup ability when you Really? Okay, let's try this again. So, Shaman has setup, that was really embarrassing, which allows you to draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. And of course, Sky Return can be very good in a lot of different matchups. And so, Shaman EX is just a very good card in here. And so, that is going to be it for the Pokemon. Really, the strategy behind this deck is, just utilize whichever attacker can be popular in certain decks. And from there. So for the supporter guys, we're just going to take a look at it here. Sycamore, pretty standard there. Same thing with N, pretty standard there. N's just going to be in there for some disruption. AZ can allow you to just pick up maybe Hoopa or something like that. Just something that might be stuck in the active spot. Maybe your opponent just Lysander and they're trying to stall. Well, AZ is going to allow you to just pick up something that might be close to being knocked out or just help you out. Hexmaniac is very good just because it is able to stop Greninja and just really shut down your opponent's abilities, just making it a little more annoying on them. And of course, this is going to shut down Shamans, it's going to shut down Scoundrel Rings, just really any abilities your opponent might want to pull off, it'll just cut that off. Giovanni's Scheme can be in here for different reasons, one of which being, of course, the extra damage and then draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. Also, if you're able to pull it off, it allows you to donk a little easier with Fast Raid. Lysander is very good, mostly because we do play this card right here, which is not this one, which is Team Aqua Secret Base. The retreat cost of each Pokemon in play, except for Team Aqua Pokemon, is 1 retreat cost more. So if you, of course, Lysander up, let's say a Shaman or just something that can't really attack right off the bat, then of course you're really going to have that Pokemon stuck there, and then pretty much you could just kind of use Chaos Will to just wail away on your opponent. Or maybe you pulled off a Chaos Will and your opponent just got it out of the active spot, then you can just bring it up and knock it out. Or you can just bring up a Shaman. Really just kind of depends on you. Next up, Skyla. Search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Shuffle your deck afterward. So you pretty much, this is going to give you access to your Crushing Hammers, your Time Puzzle, your Scoop Ups, Ultra Ball, VS Seeker, whatever you might need. Your Floodstone, Muscle Band, really anything, absolutely anything you can search out here. Of course, Skyla can grab these beautiful supporters here as well. So Skyla is just very good, could just get you anything out of your deck that you might need at the right time. Team Flare Gun, along with Zero Sick, 2 of the most disruptive supporters in the entire game. Team Flare Gun, discard energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, so you can discard a special energy or a basic energy. Really, with this deck, you of course use Giratina's Chaos Will. Your opponent can't play any special energy down, so you can kind of use Team Flare Gun and of course Crushing Hammer or Zero Sick if they already have a special energy down, and just render them completely helpless there. Just really manipulate their energy and just kind of control their energy and make it unable for them to attack. And let's see, your Zero Sec is really good just because you can discard, the tools and special energies. So you can discard stuff like Floatstone, you can discard things like Spirit Leash, you can discard just really anything. And then, of course, when you get rid of that and you Chaos Will again, they can't really play it back down. So Zero Sec Giratina, very nasty combination, just shutting down your opponent completely. And then Silent Lab, if you're able to open a Silent Lab, or if you don't need Giratina's Renegade Pulse ability, then Silent Lab can stop your opponent from being able to play Shamans and really doing anything. Let's see. Okay, Puzzle Time. So Puzzle Time is a very good card for this deck, mostly because of the fact that you only play Special Energy, and there's really no clear-cut way right now to get Special Energy back out of the discard pile into your hand, probably except for Bumblebee, but screw that. So, Puzzle Time, if you play 1, then you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck. If you play 2 at the same time, then you can get any two cards out of your discard pile and put them in your hand. Almost said any 2 discard piles. Doesn't even make sense. But this will allow you to get your Double Dragon, DCE, and really whatever you might need for the matchup. Maybe you can just put down your Team Aqua Secret Base, or just something along those lines. You can get back just whatever you need. Puzzle Time, very good card for this deck. Get you your Zero Sick back, get your Team Flare Grunt. Very helpful. Next up, we're going to take a look at Crushing Hammer. Flip a coin if it has discard energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, just like I said earlier with the Team Flare Grunt, you're really trying to control energy with this deck. And if you're able to do that consecutively and very consistently, then most of the time you're going to win your matchups. Because, of course, a lot of decks, pretty much every deck needs energy to absolutely do anything. Unless they're playing some weird Mew Dimension Valley nonsense, but even then Chaos Will shuts that down. Let's see. Fighting Fairy Belt is going to allow your Pokemon to be a little more bulkier and a little more tankier, which will make it even more annoying. So, 210, and then we're going to take a look at this. Well, yeah, 210, but you're not going to be attacking with that. 220 on Seismitoad, when pretty much you just, pretty much you're going to hit it. It's going to have a ton of HP. And then you have the possibility of using Super Scoop Up just to pick it back up. Now, the reason why Super Scoop Up is absolutely amazing in this deck is because you don't have to discard your special energies whenever you play it like you do with AZ. And what you do is you just flip a coin. If heads, put 1 Pokemon and all cards attached to it and put it in your hand. So that means you get to keep your Double Dragon in your DCE. Makes it a little better. Now, I've actually seen a lot of lists play Cassius instead of AZ for that same reason, but AZ is just a little better just because you can pick up Hoopa and Shaman and play them back down. Headringer is very good because you can play it on a Pokemon that might, might be able to have a tool on it later on in the game. You're just worried about it, or just a Pokemon that might be some trouble for you in the game. So then you can kind of just play it down and make it harder for your opponent to attack. Floodstone's very good just because of the fact that a lot of Pokemon in this deck have such high retreat cost. Seismitoad having 3 retreat cost. Giratina having 3 retreat cost. 2 retreat cost here, and then 2 retreat cost here. So float zone is going to help you out a little bit there. Just have, you know, some maneuverability around. And then muscle band is just going to allow you to hit a little harder and just add some damage. And I think that's really it. Trainer's Mail is just in here for consistency, just helping you grab those cards you might need out of your deck, like Puzzle Time, Supporters, etc. So really this deck is very simple. Just you have to play it smart. You have to know when to Chaos Will and when to Quaking Punch. The Double Dragon, of course, is in here for Giratina and Latios. DCE is pretty much in here because everything takes a DC to attack except for Latios and Hoopa. But yeah, I mean, this is an extremely strong deck, and I know how annoying this can be. That's why I just boasted about it the whole time I was talking about it, just saying that you can't do anything. And that's because going against this deck, when you can't play your special energy or tools or stadiums and you have no energy on the field, you really can't do anything. And especially if they're Lysandering up stuff while they have Team Aqua Secret Base and just hitting you with Chaos Will, you're pretty much stuck, and it's just not fun sometimes. You just you just got to hope that you have the right matchup. Yeah, Jirachi does kind of screw this deck up, but you can easily play around it. And that's where the Lysanders come into play. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and subscribe for some more content, and I will have some more top 8 decks coming for you soon. And thank you guys so much for watching. If I did mess up a lot during the video, I do apologize about that. If you're new to my channel, then yeah, I tend to do that sometimes in videos. But yeah, I mean, just this deck's annoying. Anyway, take care, guys. I love you, and this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out.